Oh, here we go, boys. Welcome back. Another week of the Vault Studio podcast. JA, Georgie, myself, Brock. Another one on another sort of Zoom call, StreamYard call.
Yeah.
JA's still a little bit sick. I had a kind of a day at work, but Georgie boy, he's got a new webcam. He's looking delicious. So go check us out on the socials, YouTube, the Vault Studio podcast. Like, subscribe, ring that bell. That's our socials done.
Anything to make my head look better is good.
I fucking love your head, big dog.
There's a beautiful shine off it.
Sponsors. We don't have any. So if you want to sponsor us, get involved, speak to JA.
Road,
sponsor
me. I want gym equipment for my house.
We need new gym equipment. Rogue, hit us up. Let's do it.
Rogue, sponsor me, please.
All right, boys.
We want
let's get stuck into it.
We're going to talk to the Sporting Globe after some very successful Red Cup betting episodes. So.
Oh no, don't. Yeah. I think I went like a 2 from 5 at best. I had a bad week.
Could have been worse than Dave.
Did you see that little multi I posted in the group for the Miami game? Missed out by 0.5.
Yeah, I fucking had it as one of my bets.
I went 0.5, man. What the fuck?
I went the overs and Miami to cover, and the unders got up. But
they got the minus, but they missed the over.
Yeah,
by half a point.
Let's get stuck in the show. You boys are gonna hate me. Fuck you. Fight me. I posted the video in our chat. McDaniel's talking to reporters. The reporters is just doing their fucking job. And he's been a sarcastic little cunt. You won 5 games. Pull your fucking head in. The reporters are doing their jobs. I'm not happy about it. It does my head in when anyone talks to reporters like that. They're just trying to do their job, boys.
Can I go first, please? Let me go first.
Hit me with it. Right. Let's do it.
This is the NFL. This is not fucking college football. This is not high school football in fucking Delaware. This is the NFL. If you're an NFL reporter and you're coming with stupid questions like, how does it feel to break the all-time yards record after 5 games? He doesn't give a fuck. He's there to win 4 games. He doesn't care. He couldn't care less, bro.
Don't be a cunt answering the question, though. Show him some respect.
This is the NFL. Be a cunt.
No. Be respectful.
You ask stupid questions, you get stupid answers.
Exactly. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
I understand. It's a Taylor Swift lyric. I know you love Taylor Swift and you keep mentioning it that you don't. It's a fucking Swift lyric and you keep mentioning it. But
shit,
this could be his first fucking team. He's just trying to get – it could be a 21-year-old kid straight out of college. He's trying to get his foot in his door. He asks the questions at an interview and he gets something like that. I don't like it. Just show some respect to the – don't show some respect.
If you're asking the coach of an NFL team, the head coach of an NFL team a question, you better come correct. Stupid questions like that ain't correct.
Have you seen the whole clip, Brock? Because when it cuts – because I think in his mind, he was taking
bad edit.
He was having a joke with him because he does that stuff all the time. He constantly makes bullshit jokes and stuff like that. Because I find him I hated him at first, but I find him. It's the truth is like if you win, you're just likable. Like I didn't like him at all, and now that he's good, I'm like, oh yeah, I kind of like him now. But he kind of does the finger point thing, and then he goes, "Nah, it's really great. Like I feel great about it. It's awesome."
Okay,
there.
He got a bad edit then. What I saw,
he might have got a bad edit.
He got a bad
but
edit.
also, like he also could have just responded with, "Yeah, it's a great feeling. It's been awesome. I'm thoroughly enjoying coaching this team." Like
NFL could have just gave him a bad edit then. But
I think it was more aimed at the fact that he was being funny, not at him being disrespectful. Like, I don't think he meant it as, you're a dumbass, what a stupid question. It was more just like, he does it all the time. They ask him anything and he's always got a smart-ass comment. Like,
he's definitely got a case.
He clearly thinks he's like a half a stand-up comedian. He's not. He's clearly not. Like,
if he sucked, I'd find him unbearable. But because, as I said to both you boys, God, he can call an offense.
I like him.
He's got very talented players, but shit, he can call an offense.
Him, but it's not just him that does answers questions like this. It's a lot of coaches, and even Sean Payton was doing it at the start of the year. You haven't won a fucking game, and you're answering questions like a smartass. Like, prove that you're worth it.
I think it's just
an answer like that.
I think it's just an overall theme that coaches in general have like a love-hate relationship with the media. Like, to me, I think coaches look at the media as a necessary evil. It's just something that They have to do a box they have to tick, something they have to deal with that they don't really want to do. And I don't blame them.
Yeah, fair enough. No, they're forced to do it. They have to go and do these press conferences and answer questions.
Yeah, well, part of the CBA or whatever, they have to do it. They clearly don't want to. Like, I wouldn't. Would you want to?
They're there so
if I was Mike McDaniels, I would. I'd be like, yeah, my offense is fucking sick. Let's go ask me all the questions. If I had lost, if I was Bill Belichick right now, I wouldn't want to. I'd be like, no thanks.
Even though he didn't want to do interviews, he's just a prick.
Yeah, he is.
He's earned it. But
should we talk about Bill
Bill
Belichick?
Belichick get fired?
Perfect
Segue. Great segue. It's a great segue.
It's a great segue. I think Bill's in red hot trouble.
I agree.
He's had the worst 2 losses in the history of his coaching tenure. The offense looks atrocious, which I know isn't his thing. I think it's probably a bit hard because I remember after the first game, I tried to reflect on this a bit today and actually look at it with I don't hate the Patriots lens because it's fun seeing the Patriots be shit. Let's be honest.
Fantastic.
Every Australian supporter's just like, I don't vote for them anymore.
Yeah,
every American supporter is doing that.
Yeah. But I just think that like the first 2 games of the season, we were actually saying, look, the defense plays hard. They're not going to be an easy out. They lose Matt Judon, who's probably definitely their best defensive player, and then Gonzalez, who's their other really good rookie corner. So I think it's maybe a bit unfair. I think he gets a leeway this year. I get the feeling like, do you reckon he wants to coach after this year? Like, if they're going to be crap and they're rebuilding and they're going to move on from Mac Jones, like, do you think he might just at the end of this year be like, yeah, I've had enough. Been doing it a long time. I'm done.
He wants to coach a team that's contending, man. He doesn't want to coach a shit team.
But what would it take to make them a contender? Because a lot of the moves that have happened have been personnel moves. Like they let Jacoby Myers go, who's gone to the Raiders, and their mindset was, well, we'll bring in the big wide receiver who played at Kansas City last year, Juju Smith-Schuster. They brought him in. He's been atrocious. He can't get open. Mac Jones isn't great. But then I saw an argument today that said that if Mac Jones was with Kyle Shanahan, he'd be Brock Purdy. So, like, there is a way to make the offense is crap. It's non-functional. They can't run the ball.
I think a lot of it comes down to arrogance from Bill too. Because if you look at a lot of interviews and a lot of things that he says, and where the media is now starting to like really press him about how bad the team is, his stock standard response is, "Oh yeah, well we've been pretty good for the last 20 years." It's like that doesn't fucking matter anymore, mate. Like Tom's gone. That time is over. What are you doing now to fix the team? And now it seems like he's unwilling, and I just think he's just too arrogant to admit that the team's shit and he needs to do something about it.
So, but that's the thing. If you fire him as the coach, do you keep him on as part of the team? Because isn't he the president of football or the GM?
Yeah, you could move him into a GM role, but I would argue that his GM work has probably been some of his worst.
It's been his worst, yeah.
They draft terribly. They don't make good signings. They signed Jonnu Smith 2 seasons ago when they signed Hunter Henry, and they had to cut him. And they signed him to big money. They're still eating money from that signing. They don't make good signings. They let Isaiah Wynn walk in the offseason, the left tackle who they drafted in the first round. Now, is he an amazing left tackle? No, but he'd be really helpful on the Patriots, and starting tackles are hard to find in this league. We know that. So they just let these guys walk because they don't want to pay anyone. They're constantly under the cap. A lot of people walk. Yeah, like it's like you don't win JC prizes by being under the cap by $40 million. Like that's not the game. The game is the team should be trying to be as close, unless they've got big contracts they want to sign during the year. They should be as close to the cap as possible because that means they're getting the most players they can.
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying make dumb signings like Deshaun Watson where you give him $50 million guaranteed for 5 years, but you need to sign people to be a competitive team. And I think his ropes kind of run out because in the past when he had Brady, and everyone's got this mindset of, he can't win without Brady. I disagree with that to an extent because back when he had Brady, he had a dominant defense and that's what he did. And then Brady was the offense, and he made the offense go.
I disagree. I disagree with you. I think that all these problems and all these GM sort of issues that he's having now, I think they were always there. I think what the difference is that Then back then he had the GOAT under center, and he's like having that kind of talent under center is like a massive band-aid. All it does is put like band-aids over the rest of your organization. Wherever there's a spot, wherever there's a problem, he will solve it just by being that fucking good. And that's what I think was happening for that run. Because if you let those teams that Tom was winning with, if you take Tom out of those teams, half those teams aren't even playoff teams, let alone Super Bowl contending teams.
Yeah, they had pretty good defenses over the years.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you on the defense. Yes, he has for the majority of the time as his tenure as head coach. They've had a great defense, but great defenses only get you so far. You got to score fucking points to win. You got to move the ball. You got to move the ball.
Defense wins championships. By the end of the year, when it comes down to it, defense wins championships. Yeah, you don't have to score.
I agree.
You don't have to score.
You still got to move the chains. You still got to hold on to the ball. You still got to control the clock. All those things come into play when it's playoffs.
Yeah, keep in mind that's what Brady did. They are the 8th ranked defense this year in total yardage per game. They're 5th in passing yards. Now their rushing yards they're about mid-tier. They're about 15th, so right in the middle. But keep in mind, they get so far behind in games that teams are just running all over them. That's what the Cowboys and the Saints did the last 2 weeks. It's easy for teams to run on you when you can't score because they get a lead and go, well, they can't score. Let's drain this clock out and
drain the clock. That's what I said. Control the ball, control the time, control the clock, move the chains.
Yeah. I guess to answer the question, I think he can get fired. I don't think he will get fired.
I think Kraft by the end of the year, if they're looking like they're not going to be a good team next year, he might be gone. I think Kraft might pull the pin.
I think if you're going to rebuild, now's probably the time to do it. You're going to need a new quarterback. But what is Bill like? Bill might like. This is what's going to happen. This is what I think is going to happen. I think Josh McDaniels is going to get fired this year. Bill Belichick will bring Josh McDaniels back to run his offense, and then they'll get in. They'll have a top 10 pick. They'll get a quarterback, and they'll be like, I can do this again. The biggest pretender and the person that's been kissed on the dick the most by Tom Brady is Josh McDaniels. He has had in Denver when he was the head coach, shit ass offense. Oh, it's Tebow's fault. It's Orton's fault. It's this guy's fault. No, you're only good. And then he goes back to New England, wins a Super Bowl with Brady because Brady carries him again, makes him a good offensive coordinator again, then goes to the Raiders, shit ass offense again. He is the ultimate guy that has been blessed, and his career is because of Tom Brady. And he's a smug fucking piece of shit, to be quite frank. Like the way he carries himself.
Did you see what Mark Davis said about old mate Snake? He like during the game they like panned over to Mike Davis, and he's like fucking idiot, like talking about fucking him.
Yeah,
like, and it was like wasn't talking about him. It's after something happens and they pan to a fucking court like to the owner and go, what the fuck is he doing?
He's getting fired. I'm certain. That's the thing. Like, I think if anyone was blessed by the Brady era in New England, I think I think both of them contributed, Belichick and Brady. I think they were both a big part of that run. Obviously, Brady going and winning a Super Bowl straight away, has written the narrative for that Brady was the guy there, and I think he is. But I think Josh McDaniels was the guy who was blessed.
I don't agree with him going on and winning the Super Bowl makes him the guy because yes, he left. But they like the Tampa Bay Bucks listened to everything he wanted. They gave him everything. They signed 1 year.
Rolled into a pretty good offense too, just quietly.
Yeah,
pretty good players on that team. Like they drafted that right tackle whose name I always forget in the top 10 or whatever. I always forget the tackle's name, and he instantly was the best tackle in the NFL. So all of a sudden, they had Ryan Jensen playing center, who was the best center in football at that point. Like they had. Yeah. Two really good offensive linemen, 2 of the best at their position, and then 3 other guys that were really solid. And don't forget, the Bucks had a very, very good defense 3 years ago. Like that defense was fucking good. They were a good team. Like Shaq Barrett was at his prime then, coming off the edge. They had Ndamukong Suh, Vita Vea. Like they were a dominant. Levante David, White. Like they were dominant defense that year as well. So he fell into the perfect situation. But then he was the one that got it done when they needed. But I don't know. I just don't think Belichick will get fired. I think they'll bring an offensive guy.
What's the solution for the rest of this season for the Patriots? Because I can't just say, well, fuck it, we're shit.
If you
look at the numbers on the weekend, I just pulled up the numbers quickly now because I watched the game, but I don't look at stats when I watch the game. I'm just looking at the stats now. They had 8 first downs for the whole fucking game, and 3 of them were from penalties.
That can't be just Mac Jones, though. I know everyone's like, Mac Jones is shit. Mac Jones is what he is. Everyone knew what Mac Jones was going to be. He's a quarterback with not a lot of arm power. He is Brock Purdy without the footwork. That's what Mac Jones is. He's not a slinger, throw it downfield, stretch the field operation. So you need to put players around him that can play for him. They've got no guys that can get open. There's no guys that can create separation on that team right now. And Hunter Henry is their most explosive player. Like bringing in Zeke, it was fun, but he hasn't got it anymore. He's not explosive. Stevenson, everyone's like, oh, he's going to be the explosive one. He's not an explosive runner. We've seen that. Like he's a poor man's Zeke Elliott, like in his prime. Like it's not like it's a speedster and then a pounder like Zeke Elliott. It's not what it is. And their O-line's not as good, and the O-line hasn't been good since Frank Scarnecchi left. That O-line was dominant every single year because Frank Scarnecchi got whichever 5 guys he had and went, this is what we're doing. Fucking listen to me. I'll make you the best O-lineman in the league. What kept happening was he'd make good O-linemen and they'd go and sign somewhere else because the Patriots would never pay guys.
Yeah,
so I don't know what they want. Like if you don't pay good players, you don't have a good team. And the magic's run out. The magic dust that Belichick can sprinkle on everyone because you're only the guru if you fucking win. And he's not winning now. So all these players are going, well, I'm not going to the Patriots to be coached by Bill Belichick and fucking win 5 games.
Yeah, and get my ass shoot out every week. Yeah, no thanks.
So I don't think he'll get fired, no, but he's on the hot seat. For the first time I would ever think that he could potentially get fired.
Perfect. All right, let's get to the next subject. Is Justin Fields good? Georgie, answer the question. I got my opinion. Let
me preface this by saying that if you are playing in the NFL, you are good. All right? You're clearly good.
Don't sit on the fence. Don't sit on the fence and be like, oh, all models are 10s. Give me a straight answer.
Unfortunately for Fields, in my opinion, the best indicator of future performance is past performance. Yeah, he's had a good game and a half over the last 2 weeks. Second half of last week, and he had a good game this week. But there's a big body of work that tells me that this guy ain't so good as a starting quarterback. I think a bit of it has to do with coaching. I don't think that they're necessarily scheming to use his talents to their fullest potential. I think if he was on a team where there was someone who could scheme for him properly, like the Ravens do with Lamar, like Shanahan does with Purdy, and or like the Philly with Hurts. I think if you put Justin Fields in that team, in that Philly team, he would be good because he's he's the sort of guy that needs a good team around him to be good, like Brock Purdy. If you put him in New Orleans, he's going to fucking suck just like he does now. Like he needs a good team around him.
Yeah, it's funny that the last 2 weeks he's played, like in the second half last week was unfortunate because, and it was almost happened in the Washington game. The other team just like Chicago are not a good team. They're not a talented team. They're a bad offensive line. They're fundamentally a bad receiving group other than DJ Moore. And the last 2 weeks, the big difference is that Justin Fields, or the offensive coordinator, whoever had Matt Eberflus, whoever has just said, get the fucking ball to DJ Moore. His game on Friday or Thursday night was one of the best receiver games I've ever seen. He was outstanding.
How good was he, man?
In the second half, when Washington started charging back, I was waiting for the mistake from Fields. I was waiting for him to make a big mistake. But instead, what he did is the ball he threw to DJ Moore that was the last touchdown and the nail in the coffin. I know people are going to say, oh, it wasn't a great ball. DJ Moore made a great play. That was a curl route that was well covered that he threw high and outside like fucking dart. That zipped. Like you could hear that through the TV, that ball leaving his hand. There aren't many quarterbacks that can go, that's covered, I'm putting that high and outside to DJ Moore, and I'm taking my fucking chance with the best player on my team that he's going to make a play here. That corner was shocked when that ball left his hand because, like, if that's Mac Jones to pick 6, like he zipped that fucking ball. Not many guys can do that. There's not many guys that have his skill sets. But I also like what you said, George. There's a lot more evidence that he's not very good than what there is good. So what I want to see the Chicago Bears do now is go, let's not fucking worry about winning this year. Let's worry about working out what the fuck Justin Fields is. Let's sling. We can't run the ball that well. We'll run it when we need to, but let's sling the ball. Let's play action. Let's get 50 plays that he can run, and let's perfect them. And then we can really tell, all right, this guy's either got it or not, because they're a chance to have 2 picks inside the top 5. If you've got if you're comfortable with Justin Fields next year, and you've got those 2 picks, you take Marvin Harrison Jr., who's the undoubted best wide receiver in the draft and the best tackle in the draft, and you go, all right, and then you go to free agency with all your cap space you've got, and you go, who's the next 2 best offensive linemen? We're signing them. Who are the 2 best defensive ends in the draft? Who are you load up and you go, all right. Or if you've got the number 1 pick, who wants Caleb Williams, guys? Who's giving us a fucking bag for this kid? Because you might get 3 first-round picks for that guy. Like, there are teams that will give you the next 3 years of first-round picks for Caleb Williams. So I don't – and then you know what? Worst-case scenario, if you don't take a quarterback this year, if Fields goes back to what he was, you're going to be shit again next year anyway. So play out his final his final year of his contract. Go, you know what? We gave you 1 more year. We've got a top 3 pick again. We've got the number 1 pick again. Whatever we've got, we're just gonna, we're going to move on now, Justin. And then at least you've still got the infrastructure to do. You've built the team, so then you can just go and maybe you go and find a free agent quarterback or someone. You know, maybe there's a quarterback available, a veteran quarterback like a Kirk Cousins or someone that you can just be like, we're just going to bring in Kirk Cousins with this stacked, talented young team and go run our team for us. Like you've got options. I just think that their only goal this year needs to be, how can I make Justin Fields a good quarterback so we're comfortable that he can be a top quarterback? And that's going to save Matt Eberflus's job. Because if he can work that out, he can sit there with 4 wins or 3 wins on the table at the end of the year and go, you know what? I know we didn't win, but I fucking got this because I've worked out Justin Fields and here's my evidence. Give me my top 5 picks. Give me talent. I will make this work. You buy yourself a year. Yeah, go.
Get rid of him. Get rid of him. Do you know what his career win-loss is?
He's won 3 games.
24 losses.
Yeah.
His career...
It's also going to be super attractive to take Caleb Williams if you've got the number 1 pick.
But his career completion average is 60%. Like, he went fucking 51% last game. Okay, he threw 4 touchdowns.
There's plenty of quarterbacks that can win.
3 touchdowns.
There's plenty of guys that can win without high percentage of completions. Like completion percent, like if 50% is bad. Don't get me wrong, but
he's had one game where he was above 65 when he went.
And last week. They got a good defense, but it was a fucking football team as well. Like
get rid of him. Get rid of him. I understand.
Their defensive backs are atrocious. My Emmanuel Forbes Defensive Player of the Year selection is Defensive Rookie of the Year is fucking atrocious. He's been benched now. Sorry, Emmanuel. That's probably my bad, mate. I put a bit of pressure on you. Sorry.
Put the mug on him.
Jesus, he's horrendous.
Get rid of him.
Final word. I don't think he's good, but I think they've got the rest of the year. If they're competent, they've got the rest of the year to find out.
Yeah,
but you're not going to find out. He's not going to be good.
Let's see how it plays. Who do they play this week?
Brocky, mate, I agree with you. I said at the start,
they got Minnesota this week. Minnesota one of the worst defenses at home. One of the worst defenses in the NFL. So
that's a winnable game.
The worst thing is they'll win that game. JJ's not playing that game as well.
He is fun. If nothing else, Fields is fun to watch. I enjoyed him playing well the other night. Maybe because it was against Washington too, but
I put money on Washington when they were losing. I was chasing the fucking comeback.
And he's got the guy can throw. He can throw the ball. Like
This is going to be a wait and see. I think the answer to the question is we've just got to see what happens this year. But if Matt Eberflus wants a job come the end of this year, because I can tell you if they're going for a new quarterback next year, it's going to be with a new coach too. Not many teams start a rebuild with a fancy quarterback. They'll go and get a Callan Moore to be a head coach or something like that, an offensive guru. Maybe Sean Payton will roll over and be like, hey, we're going to get Caleb Williams. Come on. Like, they'll get an offensive guy to come in, and Matt Eberflus will be gone.
They might even bring the USC head coach as the new head coach.
Exactly. You just don't know. You don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
So,
saying that, talking about someone that could throw a ball because he had one good video at BYU. Zach Wilson is a fucking cock tease. And I love it. I love it.
He's so hot and cold. I was watching that game the other night, and on some plays, I'm like, this dude's the best quarterback in the NFL. Like, there's just nobody that can move like that and throw a ball like that and do those sorts of things. And then he throws it into the back of his offensive lineman with a clean pocket. Like, shit like that. He's just, he does things that I'm just like, what are we looking at? Like, he is a cock tease. I cannot work out.
Yeah.
I can go in the space of 5 minutes of game time. I can go from thinking he is the worst quarterback I've ever seen to being like, this kid could win an MVP. Like, I cannot work him out at all.
Sometimes he'll make like a beautiful throw out, like to the sideline outside where only his receiver can get it, like pinpoint accuracy, and then he'll make a stupid read. The next play, he'll make a stupid read and miss a guy wide open over the middle. Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, I don't know.
He holds on the ball. He doesn't throw. Like,
I think the last couple of weeks he's getting rid of it a bit better. He has.
No, but I'd rather him hold on to the ball and take a sack, though. Take a sack. Don't throw a rush pass. Don't back Jones and throw a cross field pick six. Hold the ball. Take a sack.
I'm going to reiterate again what I said a couple of weeks back. I'm devastated that we didn't get to see the Aaron Rodgers show this year. I'm so upset about that. I'm still upset about it.
Have you seen that he's already walking around?
Yeah.
He's a medical fucking miracle. It's unbelievable.
Brock Wellington did that, so
he's on the good shit.
He is. He's in the fucking dark room smoking weed.
Yeah.
He's
ayahuasca.
He's got ayahuasca.
Whatever, you know what I mean? Fuck, I don't know.
It if I put a gun to your head right now though and went, do you think Zach Wilson will be a starting quarterback in the NFL in 2 years' time? What's your answer?
Yes.
No.
Yeah. I don't think he will be. Although he'd be better in New England than Mac Jones.
Yeah, he would be.
But I prefer him over Jimmy Garoppolo. Prefer him over Kenny Pickett. I'd prefer him over a lot of guys in this comp right now.
I'm about Zach Wilson.
I never thought he was good enough to be a starting quarterback. He's a really good backup. Well, I don't think he's good enough to be a starting quarterback.
Yeah, see how it plays out. But do you guys reckon the Jets can make the playoffs? I don't think they can.
Nah, the East is too stacked.
AFC is tough.
And there's already two teams. There's already two teams going to come out of the East anyway. You can't have three. No way.
Not with how the North will shape out as well. Because the South will win games, and
even the South is good. Like, I think the South. I think there's two teams in the South better than the Jets. Like, I think Jaguars, Colts, and probably the Texans are all better than the Jets too, just because they're just incompetent on offense. Now, Breece Hall could be the difference maker because he was a difference maker the other night. He's unbelievable. Really fun fact: Dalvin Cook will get cut the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, he looks so slow, doesn't he? He looks terrible, man.
No, never sign running backs. Never sign them. I don't like the evidence is just stacked. Dalvin Cook was one of the best running backs in football. Before the start of last season, everyone was like, he's a top 5 back in the NFL.
Yeah,
he now is atrocious. He cannot do anything.
He looks like he's running with his feet in cement. He looks so fucking slow.
I guess I don't understand the impact that the NFL has on running backs because they're just destroyed.
Yeah, they're just ruined.
28 and done.
Yeah.
I feel that pain. But let's get on with it.
Georgie.
ESPN.
Oh, yeah, this is a good one.
Yeah, I don't know about this. I put this to you boys in the group chat. Have we got the graphic or no?
Yeah, I've got him here. I got it here. So it's best chances to win the NFC. Got 49
according to ESPN
according to ESPN Analytics.
Yep.
49ers at 55%, Eagles at 16, Lions at 9, Seahawks at 3%. Georgie,
Right.
and I believe you, JA, were saying Eagles should be higher.
Well, higher than.
First of all, how are the fucking Seahawks got any percentage if the 49ers are 55%? How do the Seahawks going to not only win the NFC, they're going to win the NFC West, and like I don't see how the Seahawks even get a percentage. Like I like the Seahawks; they'll be a wild card team.
Cheeky wild card, come out as a
but
wild card.
I guess they're only a game behind, and they're going to play each other twice. Like I guess it could happen, but I can't see them beating the 49ers twice and winning the NFC. So I'll scrap that. The Lions is probably more realistic, but again, they're only 4-1. But I think they've been. This is going to shock people. I think they're a little bit disrespectful to the Eagles. The Eagles are undefeated right now. Yeah, they're not playing their best, but I would argue that the 49ers have maybe gone a little bit too early with how well they're playing. And it could, they're more likely to regress as the season goes on.
Yeah. If you look at that game, you probably guys didn't watch it, but that game on the weekend, Eagles-Rams, we went into SoFi and we beat them up. We beat them up.
And the Rams aren't a bad team at all.
The Rams are not a bad team, and our defense kept them scoreless in the second half. Scoreless in the NFL for a fucking half. That's pretty good. Like 14%. Like ESPN can kind of fucking shake my dick on that one. Sorry.
I would have had the Eagles and I would have had the 49ers around the 40% mark, around there, 40-45%, and then the Eagles up into 35%. Like that's what I would do. I also think the Eagles probably playing a little bit tougher division. Like the NFC East is known for like shitty teams like the Giants taking out one of the top teams.
Yeah.
And so is the NFC West. Like it wouldn't shock me if the Cardinals did a pretty good job against the 49ers last week. Like, and like they're going to play the Rams. The Rams will probably take a game off them. So I don't know. It's probably not right, but I also want to know how the fuck the analytics comes up with that.
Oh, who fucking knows?
Because basically what they're saying to me is they reckon the Niners are only going to lose a couple of games, and after watching them the other night, that's potentially true.
But what I said in the group chat, can they play any better than what they're playing now?
It doesn't have to. They're the best in the league.
Yeah, but they will.
They're the best.
This happens every year. There's a team that starts hot.
Yeah.
And then they everyone forgets last year the Kansas City Chiefs were, I think they were 2-3 after the first 5 games. Like they weren't playing well, and then late down the stretch, they really started getting it all worked out. I worry if you're playing this well now, like they're either going to be a historically good team and go, they go 16-1 this year, and they're going to be one of those teams that just are dominant all year.
They're very good. And even though I'm an Eagles fan, I've always been high. I've been high on the 49ers all year, even in the preseason. I've been saying they're good. But
I see them winning 15 games. They'll lose 2 games.
Yeah, they potentially could.
They're unstoppable. They've got stars in every position
around the ball. I think if you put the 2 rosters together, I think the Eagles have got a better roster, more depth for sure, especially on D line.
The Eagles have a better O line and D line.
Much better.
Maybe not D line. Now that the 49ers have added Randy Gregory too, like that was a good add.
We've got a lot of depth, mate. We've got a lot of depth. Jalen Carter had another massive game, 2 sacks on the weekend. He looked awesome.
He is a very good player.
No,
I don't know.
I think the San Fran defense is a lot better.
I think the Eagles are building very nicely, considering we have not played our best football, and we've been struggling in the red zone too. I think on the weekend we were like 2 for 6 or something in the red zone on the weekend. So, like, as an Eagles fan, I'm satisfied. We're building nicely into the season. I think we're doing well. Go on. Look, another beautiful segue. Go ahead, please.
I've got a bit of a theory watching Jalen Hurts on the weekend.
Yeah.
So this I understand how unfair this is. This is an unfair thing that I'm going to bring up because it's taking away something that's so special about him, right? If Jalen Hurts, I watched the game. If Jalen Hurts isn't the athletic specimen that he is, which he is, and we can't take that away from him, and I understand that. Yeah. If we're living in a different world where he can't run and move and do the things that he does with his feet, he is a terrible NFL quarterback. His accuracy is mid. He doesn't have the most powerful arm in the world. He doesn't read the field that well. A lot of the big plays he generates are from him escaping the pocket with his athleticism.
Yes.
I was just watching it and I couldn't help thinking to myself, like, this guy is so blessed physically that if teams can work out a way to keep him in the pocket, I don't think he's a good quarterback. I don't think he can just play quarterback where he drops back and throws the football.
No, you're right. He's not that kind of quarterback. He's not that drop back 5 steps and sit in the pocket and throw and distribute. No, he's not. He never was. But that's the whole point of being a good offensive coordinator and a good offensive and quarterback coach. You scheme for the talent that your guy has. Like, that's why I said, like, if you put Justin Fields in that Philly offense, he'd probably be just as good, nearly.
Yeah. I think there'd be lots of guys that would be just as good in that. I'm starting to realize how important offensive coordinators and coaches that can actually scheme for their players. And, you hear shit coaches all the time say, oh, I'm just missing some of the pieces I need. Oi, fuckhead, you're an NFL coach. Take the pieces you've got and make it work.
Yeah, make it work.
You've got 25 or 30 offensive players on that team that are playing in the NFL that have been dominant and good enough to make it to that level. You can't find a way to make an offense work with the guys you've got. It's unbelievable.
Don't undersell Hurts. Like in big games, in big moments, he's really stepped up. Like in the Super Bowl last year, he was very good. He should have been Super Bowl MVP last year. His game was unbelievable.
He would have been for sure.
Oh, he would have been a fucking landslide. I'm saying even though we got robbed, he still should have fucking got it.
He was incredible in that game, and he's had good moments. I just feel like he's in such a good scenario. Like that offensive line is so fucking good. His receiving group's outstanding. And I've lost George. I guess it's just a way. They're being rewarded for building things the right way down in Philly. I don't know what's happened to Georgie boy. Here he is. He's back.
You want to know my thoughts on Jalen Hurts?
Yeah, what's your thoughts on Jalen Hurts, Brocky?
I think it's a couple of years' time. It's going to be the same as Lamar Jackson. You give defenses a chance to actually study what you do best. Watch them take that away from you. It's the same with Josh Allen. Let me talk, Georgie. It's the same with Josh Allen. They don't let him run out of the pocket now. They don't. They sit a spy. They don't let him just take off when shit falls down. Give it a year and a bit of time. Because the same thing happened with Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson came his second year. He was an MVP. He won the MVP. Second year. Because he was like, fuck it. I'm just going to take off. I'm going to use my feet. If it's not there, I'm going to use my feet. Defenses went, all right, cool. You want to use your feet? We'll set a fucking court. We'll set a couple linebackers there to keep you in the pocket. We won't over-rush you. We'll just contain you, keep you in your pocket, and drop fucking multiple guys back. And make you actually pinpoint. If he can't hit multiple passes downfield, I don't think it's doable. You also got a great receiving core as well. You got to remember that as well. You have a great receivers. Like Smith is a fucking weapon, and AJ Brown is a fucking big body target that will make any catch.
I think our biggest weapon is the run game. I think our biggest weapon is the ground game, and our ability to run the ball, move the chains, and control time of possession and control the line of scrimmage. Like I think on the weekend, we had our time of possession was like an extra 15 or 16 minutes ahead of the Rams. Like that is a significant amount of time to have the ball extra.
I think the Jalen Hurts experiment will digress, and it could be potentially next season. Once Lane Johnson and Jason Kelce hang up the boots, that's when we're going to see what Jalen Hurts is going to be, because Lane Johnson's the best right tackle in football. He's up there for one of the best right tackles ever. He's incredible. Jason Kelce is the best center ever. Like he is the best center to ever play the game. There's no doubt about it. The way they do that brotherly shove, they're calling it, that is all Jason Kelce being a physical, strong. Like I have snapped a fair few balls from center, and I don't know how the fuck he snaps it and gets his snaps, get both hands on the ground. He literally like army crawls with grabbing the ground with his hand. Like the position he puts himself in physically to snap the ball, get in that position, and then be tough enough to just have all those bodies on top of him, shoving him, standing on him, and not get hurt, blows me away. Like I've never had more respect for any offensive lineman than Jason Kelce. But when Jason Kelce and Lane Johnson finish their careers, which could very well be the end of this season, the Jalen Hurts experiment's not going to be as easy as, this Dan's rushed inside. Oh, Lane Johnson's just washed him across. I'm going to bootleg and run outside and make a big play. It's going to really, he's going to have to get rid of the ball quicker. He's going to have to do a lot of things. And you know what? It's a credit to the way the Eagles have built their team. They built it from the inside out, and they found the quarterback once everything else was in there. They took a second round pick, whatever it was on Hurts, and then went, you know what? We've got a dominant team around him. This kid can move. He can throw a ball. He can generate plays. Let's throw him in here and build an offense around a guy that can, with the pieces we have around him, we can make this work. And it's a credit to him. As much as it kills me, every team should copy what they do.
The O-line in the ground game bail out Jalen Hurts a lot. That is 100% correct.
100%. And it's bailing out the running back too, Swift. He's only a good running back there because of that O-line. At the end of this season, when he's out of contract, he will go and sign somewhere else, and he will be shit.
He will be shit.
No, put the receipt down now, Brocky. He will be shit when he goes somewhere else.
Call me Deion Sanders because I keep receipts, and I'm saying it as well. Yeah. Jalen Hurts won't be good in a year and a bit time.
We'll say
he'll be an NFL quarterback, absolutely sure, but he will not be 5-0. We're not no chance of losing, but we're only going to get better. That won't be him. That won't be him. I'm a Lamar Jackson fan. I've seen it. Ravens built their team by running the fucking ball. That's how we did. It doesn't last forever. You can't always play the kids' game. It doesn't last forever.
100%.
Think about all the things that he has going for him, though, right? You're right. On another team that's not as good, he will not be as good. I agree. Think about all the things he's got going for him. He's got a dominant O-line, unbelievable running game, great receiving core. He's got a dominant defense that rush the passer and get turnovers. No shit, he's going to be good. It's not surprising. It will be interesting to see what happens in a few years, though. But for now, we're clearly in a Super Bowl window, and hopefully we can get one.
Let's see what the odds are paying. Let's see where we're going here. Because if I'm a betting man, and I am a betting man, outside my boys of the Ravens, I'm putting money on the fucking San Francisco 49ers to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
In an absolute landslide.
We'll see what happens week 30.
They're the best team in the NFL. Hands down.
I feel like it's their year. Me too. Let's talk about the Kings of London. The Kings of London.
Sound like you're from London.
We'll talk about the Jaguars. Do you know what? Well played by them to play 2 games in a row in England, because the Buffalo Bills looked fucking exhausted and the Jaguars did not. Travis Etienne running all over him.
Oh, my God. Etienne. Oh.
Did you see his tweet that he had to play against himself in fantasy? He lost. He got out of the game and then realized the guy he was playing had him, and he's like, fuck. But the Jaguars, they're kind of making their they're making their right. Like I said last week, I thought the Texans would win it. I now think the Jaguars are fucking good again. They're just that young team that have all the talent that when they put it together correctly,
they're good.
They're going to win. But they're so up and down. It wouldn't shock me if they go out and lose this week.
They were trash 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Before they went to London. They
lost to Tennessee.
Yeah.
They did not look good.
No.
Yeah.
And then they've got the Colts this week. The Colts without Anthony Richardson, with Gardner Minshew. It wouldn't shock me if the Colts beat them. That's the sort of team they are. They should win that game. They should win that game at home without a doubt. But that's the game they'll go and lose now. That's what surprises me about them.
Put some respect on Minshew's name. It's Minshew Mania. He's a solid quarterback.
I agree.
He knows that offense. Unreal. They beat the Ravens just because of Minshew knowing the offense so well.
Yeah, mate, I'm with you, bro. He's a solid quarterback. I agree.
He should be starting in a couple of teams. Realistically, I'll take him over.
He's better than Jimmy G.
I'll take him over the Riddler down in Atlanta.
Oh, he's atrocious. We'll get to him. He's so bad. Bijan Robinson's carrying the Atlanta Falcons. It's not even funny. It's not even funny how badly he's carrying them. I know this is off topic, but do you know that Kyle Pitts and Drake London, their 2 first-round picks from the last 2 years, have had 8 targets this season? 8 targets. Sorry, before this week's game, they had 8 targets. So they targeted Kyle Pitts 10 times this weekend. How many catches do you reckon Kyle Pitts had this weekend? 8.
Huh?
8 catches on 10 targets he had. It's funny when you throw the ball to these talented players, how they might catch it.
Yeah.
Like, unbelievable. But anyway, that's...
They probably just dropped down and went, oh, we're not going to let you check down to Bijan every second play. Let's just stand here 4 yards off the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, it's unbelievable. It's funny if you target good players, they actually have a chance to make plays. Brocky, let's talk about the Ravens and Steelers. I might have put the kibosh on you on Sunday night.
Yeah, no, fuck you. I'm still not over
just before going to bed Sunday night, I said in our group chat, Steelers beat Ravens tomorrow, mark my words.
I was watching the London game. I read it and went, I fucking hate JA. What a fucking cunt.
It was a cheap shot.
Why did you do this to me?
It was cheap. I mean, I felt it. I just had this feeling in my loin. I'm like, oh, I've got this gut feeling they're going to lose. They're going to lose the Steelers tomorrow. And I'm loving, I like the question. It was your idea, George, the question, who does this say more about? This says more about the Ravens to me. I don't think the Steelers are that good a team. I think they're a solid defense, and they'll scrap a few of these games out because of guys like TJ Watt. I think they're solid, but I think overall they won't be able to keep this together. They'll win eight games again this year and maybe scrape into the playoffs like they do every year. But what this is about the Ravens, I don't actually think it's a negative about the Ravens. So everyone was like, oh, Lamar can't win a big game, blah, 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 blah. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to take the time. I'm going to go and watch this game. That is the best game Lamar Jackson's played for 5 years.
Fact.
That was his best game. Pro Football Focus rated him at 94, so it's out of 100. 94.6 was like the highest QB rating for the past 2 seasons. He had 3 drop touchdown passes. If they were up 17-0 and they dropped 3 touchdown passes, they catch 2 of them and they're up 30-0 before before the Steelers even have a chance. They're not winning. It was one of those games that all of a sudden the Ravens got up, they made dumb mistakes. Yeah, Lamar Jackson fumbled, but that's TJ Watt making a terrific play. Lamar Jackson's not the first quarterback that TJ Watt's made fumble in a big moment. Like, that's what that dude does.
How good's he looking, by the way, TJ Watt?
Defensive Player of the Year. Running away with it. Yeah, absolutely running away with it right now. But I don't think this says everything bad about the Ravens, because they played as bad as they could play, and they still had a chance to win this game.
Yeah.
So I think what it tells me is that it's like it's probably a good loss for them to be like, oh, we're up 17-0. We took our foot off the pedal, and the Steelers, division rival, came flying back and got us. Let's not make that mistake again.
Division game on the road. Yeah.
Next time we get up, let's not drop fucking touchdown catches. Because I'm telling you, Lamar couldn't have played much better. Other than that fumble, he couldn't have played much better. But in fairness, the right tackle could have blocked TJ Watt. So it's not all Lamar. Like, when a quarterback gets strip sacked, I find it hard to only blame the quarterback. Like, he's just trying to make a play. Like, there's big human beings that are specifically designated to block guys like TJ Watt. And if they don't do their job, it's going to be hard.
They're getting paid millions of dollars to do it.
Millions of dollars.
Saying that, J8, it's not on Lamar, but the Ravens receiving corps hadn't had a drop catch through 5 weeks of football.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that we had 7 drop catches for the total of 170 yards, 2 TDs.
Zay Flowers' drop was so bad. Zay Flowers went over the middle. It was like a 30-yard bomb. I guarantee you, if he catches that guy doesn't tackle him, he's scoring.
Nah, worse. Mark Andrews.
Yeah.
Mark Andrews,
he doesn't drop anything. In fairness to him, he's safe as houses.
Fucking 6'5", going up and getting one, and you let anyone go through your hands, and you drop 3 of them.
And it's just out of character. That's the thing. It was just one of those games I was watching and thinking, this is just so out of character, and one that's going to eat at the Ravens for a few days, and all the players are going to eat at him. It's going to eat at a guy like Mark Andrews. But I think through that adversity, that might make them a better team. I think this was a good. There's no good losses, but in terms of the attitude, they might walk away from this one going, you know what? That's on us. That's not the Steelers beating us. That's us losing to the Steelers. So we need to learn from that. Yeah.
We had some Tennessee in London. Not even like that. We had some Philadelphia reject or Nelson Aguilar fucking drop an easy catch. I felt like he was wearing a green jersey.
You sign Nelson Aguilar. If you sign Nelson Aguilar, you sign a guy to drop catches. All that motherfucker does is drop the ball. got a history of it.
That's all you do. There's plenty of tape of him dropping balls.
If you sign Nelson Aguilar, you deserve what you get when you throw him the fucking ball. Put him on punt returns at most. He cannot catch. He's fucking trash. So anyway, let's move on to the Lions. Lions are the third best team in the NFC. I'd struggle. I'm not going to argue this.
I 100% agree with this.
I don't know why it's the topic. We can't argue this one.
And do you want to know why they are, Georgie? Why are they? Much like the Philadelphia Eagles and the 49ers, they're built from the inside out. They build a dominant O-line. Like, their D-line's not dominant, but Aiden Hutchinson's certainly fucking dominant.
We'll get pressure on the quarterback.
And they're dogs. That entire defense plays like a Dan Campbell on their back, which is awesome. And their offensive line they're the best offensive line in football. I don't even think I think the Eagles are second and probably the Niners in there too.
I think the Eagles are better, but that's okay.
The Lions across the board are just all fucking outstanding. Like the Eagles probably get them because they've got two of maybe the best at their position. But if you look across the Lions across the board, every one of their guys are kind of top 10 guys or top 5 guys probably. So they're solid. They run the ball well. They play hard. Jared Goff currently Pro Football Focus have Jared Goff as the best quarterback in football. Yep. And you know why? Because he's a smart dude that plays the offense well. He just goes, I'm going to do whatever they want me to do. They want me to hand it off. I'll do it. You know what? I'm not flashy. I've got a good arm. I'll make the throws when I need to make the throws, and I'll take what they give me when they need to give me.
He doesn't turn the fucking ball over.
Doesn't turn the ball over.
That's what, and as we've said 1,000 times before, you win the turnover battle, you're going to win the fucking game 9 times out of 10.
Turnovers, pressures, and don't give up sacks. They're the 3 key ingredients to being a good football team in the NFL, and the Lions do all of it at a great level. That's the bottom line. And I want to see them play some good teams. That's like, I want to see them. I know they've got, I think who they got this week? I think this week. They got Tampa Bay this week. So I guess they're okay. But I want to see him I want to see a Detroit 49ers or a Detroit Philadelphia. Like, I know they play the Cowboys in a couple of weeks. They'll kick the shit out of the Cowboys. That is the sort of team that will kick the living shit out of Dallas.
Like you said, they'll just fucking beat you up, man. They'll just grind on you, run the ball on you, take time off the clock, and just grind you down, man. And I like that.
Sam Laporta is the biggest steal of the draft. I can't believe teams didn't get him earlier, the tight end. He's maybe the best tight end in football at the moment. He's George Kittle. He's the next George Kittle. He blocks, he runs well, he's tough. Like, what a pick by them. Like, everything Dan Campbell does right now turns to fucking gold. And I couldn't be happier, because it's about time a coach with personality could beat you up. He ticks every box for the Vault Studio. He's just someone, he's likable. He does good press conferences. He's honest. He's emotional. He loves his players. Like, it's a guy you want to get around. He's an ex-player. Like, he knows and he wasn't like a top tier player. He's a guy that played 13 years in the NFL as a special teams and second blocking tight end. Like, he's done things he's just built in the right way, and it's something that I can get around, that sort of dude. I really can. And I'm glad that the Lions are working it out, and I hope this continues for the rest of the season. I want to see like the Lions playing in a relevant game.
Why won't it though? Why won't it continue?
I don't see any reason why.
The team is built the right way, like you said. The team is built for this.
And you know what? They don't drink their own bath water. They're not hyping themselves up. They are just going under the radar right now, kicking the shit out of teams.
They've definitely overtaken the Cowboys as the third best team in the NFC easily.
Yep. Couldn't agree more. Well, that's a good segue into our next segment. This is your one, Georgie. The Cowboys won't win a playoff game.
After that performance against the Niners, and like obviously the Niners are a top tier team, and in order to win a Super Bowl, you got to beat top tier teams in consecutive weeks. They were nowhere fucking near it the other night. Nowhere near it. Niners just, I know it was at home, so they're not like, and I get all that, but like they just fucking beat them up. They beat them up all night.
0 fight from the Cowboys. It was embarrassing. Look, I've got a bit more of a fun fact for you based on the Cowboys win a playoff game. I'm going to run you through the Cowboys' rest of their schedule.
Yeah.
Their schedule is tough. they're a chance to not make the playoffs. So I'll go through it and you guys tell me win or loss. So this week they're at the LA Chargers, Monday Night Football.
Loss.
Bye, then they've got at home to the LA Rams.
Win.
Then they've got at the Philly Eagles.
Loss.
Then they've got home to New York. Now, keep in mind, they beat New York, so...
Win at home. They win at home.
They'll sweep the Giants. They've got at the Panthers. I assume they should win that game.
Terrible.
They've got Washington Commanders.
Loss.
Where's that?
In Washington.
Loss.
They've got Seattle at home.
Loss.
Philly again.
Loss.
At Buffalo.
Loss.
At Miami.
Loss.
This is a tough run home.
Home to Detroit.
Loss.
50-50. 50-50. Phone a friend.
even if you want to give them that, we'll give them Detroit, right? And then they've got at Washington in the last game of the season.
Loss.
No,
they'll win that one.
So that's going to be this. So let's just say they'll win this one. So they'll split their Washington games. That gives them 6. That's 6 more wins, including giving them the Detroit win. They're on 3 wins. That's 9 wins. They might not even make the playoffs.
That'll be enough to make a wild card in the NFC.
Maybe not. Not the way the Seahawks are playing. Not the way the Saints are playing. Not the way it's. I don't know if it will. Like right now, they're the 7 seed right now. Like I know, I guess Tampa, Atlanta, and New Orleans are all on 3 and 2. That's probably not going to continue. But the way the Rams, like you've got them losing to the Rams, that would tell me that the Rams are going to win a lot of games. Like that'd be 3 teams in the NFC where they are a real chance to not make it.
Yeah.
And then if they do make it as the 7 seed, they will probably they're going to get Philly or the Lions in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
In Philly or in Detroit. Or the 49ers. You're going to get one of those 3 teams. That's the game you're going to play. So I 100% agree with you. The Cowboys will not win a playoff game because at this point, I'm not confident they'll make the playoffs. Their run home is horrendous. They needed to beat Arizona. That game is going to fucking kill them when it comes to the end of the year.
Yeah, let me ask, because obviously you're an avid Cowboys fan, as we all know. Why do they keep fucking running the ball on first down? Why are they throwing on first down?
I'm going to fucking, I don't know. Because the one good drive they had on the weekend when they scored on the Niners, they didn't run the ball once on first down.
Yeah.
They ran it. They did short passing plays on first down to get into 2nd and 5, and then they'd use that for either running or play action because it puts the defense in conflict. If you're at 2nd and 5, the defense goes, well, they could run or pass it here. We don't know what they're going to do. So that's when your play action comes into effect. That's when your boots come into effect. That's when Prescott, Pollard, CD Lamb, Ferguson, the tight end, that's when those guys are at their best in those situations. Yep. Why isn't McCarthy putting them in those situations more? And the answer is because he's not a fucking good coach.
Well, he's just not. I think the answer is he doesn't trust Dak. That's what
Maybe he doesn't, but then he's a fucking idiot anyway because you may as well lose with Dak than do what you did against the Niners.
Yeah, well, the Niners
couldn't be worse than running it on first down for no yards every single time. And because you know what? Because when you shouldn't trust Dak is on 2nd and 10 and 2nd and 11 when the defense goes, he's passing it. I don't care if they play action. We're not buying it.
Yeah,
that's when you shouldn't trust any quarterback. No quarterback's good in those situations. So, whether you like Dak or don't like Dak or think he's good or don't think he's good, he's your quarterback. And what we know about him is when you put him in advantageous situations and you put the offense and move him and do the things that you can do when you don't run the ball into a brick wall on first down, he can be successful because we've seen it in the past. That's evidence that's on the table. He's not playing any worse. He's just being stifled. And then in this game, when the game was over, then it's like, all right, let's now start trying to throw it deep because we need explosive plays. The 49ers are too good for that. They're not the fucking Chicago Bears that you can all of a sudden go, let's throw deep on these guys. It doesn't work that way. Like, they're the best team in football. You can't let them get up by 3 scores and then go, all right, Dak, we're just going to go back to standard dropbacks and you throw it downfield. That's what's going to generate turnovers, which it did. Like, the coaching put him in that position. Now, was he good? No. He came out after and said it was the most humbling experience he's ever had in this league. They killed him. He's like, they kicked the shit out of us. He's like, we just got to get better. Now I'm interested to see how he comes out Monday night because I've got a feeling he's going to come out and fucking blow the doors off LA. And I hope McCarthy allows him to with his play calling. Because if you don't trust him, what's the point? You've either got to get rid of Dak or get rid of McCarthy.
Yeah, exactly. He's got to do something because he's literally coaching for his job now, right?
If you gave me the choice of getting rid of Dak or McCarthy, it's fucking much easier to find a better coach than McCarthy than it is to find a better quarterback than Dak Prescott. Simple as that. And I think Dak Prescott's a mid-tier NFL quarterback. The bottom line is the evidence in the past has showed us that he can be highly successful in an offense. He ran one of the best offenses in football the last 3 years, and McCarthy has destroyed it this year. It's boring. Oh, his completion percentage is the highest it's ever been. No one fucking cares because you're not beating the 49ers, the Eagles, the Lions, the Seahawks, kicking field goals. You're not beating them. You've got to score touchdowns. Yeah, like I said. So someone's got to go, and I can tell you it's not going to be Dak Prescott. It will not be. The only silver lining from this season could be McCarthy being finished by the end of it.
Letting Kellen Moore walk out the door was so fucking stupid. I don't know why they did that. That was so dumb.
In saying that, like the Chargers are still charging, but like you know what's going to happen. Herbert's going to go off for 500 fucking yards and 5 touchdowns on Monday night with Kellen Moore against his old team. We know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Put all the overs on Justin Herbert. He's going to torture him.
Rocky, Rick, I'm betting put that as a note.
I'll get on it. I'll smash it. I'll load up on that one actually now.
Georgie, here's your last one, mate. This is all you. Your vendetta.
What the fuck? Did you guys see that? Did you guys see the end of that game?
I sent it to you, dickhead. Of course I saw it. I sent you the clip.
I was watching it. I was screaming at my fucking monitor going, what the fuck?
So I'll explain it for people who haven't seen it. So the end of the Chiefs game, who were they playing? I can't even remember who they were playing against now.
The Vikings.
The Vikings were driving to win the game, to tie the game up down by 7. One score game. Kirk Cousins throws deep on the play. He gets drilled head high. Now, I don't think it should be a penalty, but by the rules and by what the refs call, it is a penalty.
By the rules, it's a penalty.
Yeah, so he gets hit in the head as he throws the ball, and they threw a flag on it for a late hit, for a head high hit. So everyone thought, okay, there's another chance. They then call PI on the cornerback in the end zone, covering the receiver. So it should have been a first down from the 1 yard line.
First goal, from the 1 yard line.
Goal from the 1 yard line. Yep. They then the cornerback takes off his helmet and starts complaining, which regardless is an instant penalty, which is a 5 yard penalty and automatic first down. So the play's dead. So they should have got that. The ref instead says to him, put your helmet back on. So the Chiefs player puts his helmet back on so he doesn't get penalized. Then the refs get into a huddle and pick up both the flags, and it's turnover on downs, and the Vikings lose. So
they didn't throw a flag on that taking off their helmet. They didn't even throw that flag.
No, he told him to put it back on, which is I've never ever seen that before in my life. Anytime any player's ever taken his helmet off on the field, it's like bang, flag. Sorry. Now, I don't know if that flag would have been deemed as after the play, so it wouldn't have mattered. So if they picked up because the play's ended, it's a dead ball foul, so it might not have given the Vikings a first down. It might have just been a 5 yard penalty on.
I thought it was immediate. I thought it was still automatic first down.
I'm not sure, but I know it's a penalty, and I know they picked it up and didn't call it on him. So I don't know, but I also don't understand how you pick up 2 flags, one on roughing the quarterback, and which I have seen them throw roughing the quarterback flags for 10 times less than that. I hate it. I personally hate the rule, but you can't call it for all these other teams and then when in that situation not call it. And not only not call it, but pick up the flags. It was unbelievable.
If that was Patrick Mahomes, are they picking up that flag or is that
penalty? No, they're making sure he's okay. They're helping him up.
This is my fucking point. Like, what is going does the dick riding by the NFL for the fucking Chiefs and for Mahomes is getting to the point. It makes me want to fucking spew up at the moment. Absolutely. They fucked the Vikings out of that game. They fucked them out of that win. They had a chance to tie the game. And I don't know if they scored from the 1 yard line, which they should have, they'd probably go for 2 and try and win the fucking game.
Either way, Do you know what, George? Do you know what my opinion on it is? Either way, we get the opportunity to see what would have happened.
Exactly.
This is what annoys me with football. It was the same with the AFL Grand Final where they got the advantage call and then they called the advantage and that. And everyone was like, oh, well, but Collingwood, who knows what would have happened? I'm like, because as a fan watching that game, not really caring who won, I wanted to see the result properly, not have an umpire fucking decide the result. That's what I wanted to see. Like, I wanted to see what would happen. I want the theater. I watch the game for the excitement. When an umpire or a ref just comes in and fucking ruins it, it's like you've just robbed us of what could have happened. The Vikings could have won that game. They could have scored and gone for 2 and beaten the Chiefs. And then we could have been like, well, look, the Vikings are back alive this year. They've just won a clutch fucking game over Patrick Mahomes. They're back. They're now alive. Now they're fucking dead at 1-4. They would have been 2 and 3. Looks a whole lot better than 1 and 4. 2 and 3. They're a game out of leading the division, playing the Detroit Lions this week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they could be back. It's just the refs just ruined it, and I don't understand why. And the explanation was, oh, there's no flag on the play. Like the Kevin McConnell, the Vikings head coach, was ballistic, and I don't blame him.
I don't blame him. I was losing my mind, and like I'm watching it on TV.
I was losing my mind, and I was secretly laughing that the Vikings lost another 1-score game because that's my like. It suits me better to have them lose that game, but I wanted to see them lose it the fucking right way, not by a ref.
So just to recap, they didn't throw the flag on the guy taking the helmet off. They picked up the flag for PI, which 50-50, all PIs are 50-50 in my opinion anyway, right?
But normally when they're thrown, they're not picked up. They are very rarely picked up.
It's a 50-50 call, and they said, no, we're going to pick that up. How, in good conscience, do you pick up that roughing the passer flag? How? He got absolutely fucking nailed in the head, bro. And I'm saying,
left his feet.
Called.
He jumped. The defender left his feet and hit him in the head. That is the epitome of the rule. You leave your feet. You make head-high contact with the quarterback. It's a penalty. That's what they're trying to stop.
Theory, like the NFL are favouring the Chiefs.
I just think I definitely think. I don't think it's like an NFL conspiracy. I just think the refs struggle. Was it in Kansas City?
No, it was in Minnesota.
In Minnesota.
I was going to say maybe they struggle with the crowd. I don't know. Are they just getting a lucky run of things? I'm not sure because they had a few lucky calls in the Super Bowl too. Like they've been very lucky the past 2 years.
Lucky calls in the Super Bowl.
But then thinking back, right? Everyone else would say this about Brady too. Like Brady got so many good calls back in the day too. Are the refs just more sided to guys like Mahomes and Brady when they've got this reputation, all that sort of stuff? Are they just persuaded by it?
Yes, they do.
Yeah, I don't think it's an NFL problem. I think it's a ref problem.
Can we not act like this isn't the biggest thing that happens with the refs? When a superstar gets the ball, look at the AFL. Look at your Carlton Football Club. Look at fucking Chris Judd. He could do a 7.
How dare you attack fucking Chris Judd? He's a star. Attack Nick Dacos. That's who we're attacking at the moment.
No.
How dare you?
He could have been the second person to do a 900 behind Tony Hawk, and he still would have got a fucking free kick for touching it too hard. Are we talking about protected species? Like, it happens. Refs are humans. Like, shit happens. I think the issue is with NFL, there's fucking 6 of them out there, and PI normally gets called. Normally gets it. Even if you don't get a PI, you get a hold downfield at least. You get a little holding call. That's what's worse about it. But the situation is, it looks bad that it's not the first time it's happened.
The helmet, not flagging the guy with the helmet off, that'll cost a ref his job. I guarantee. I can Google it now. I guarantee you, the ref that said put your helmet back on is not reffing this week in the NFL.
Yeah,
he'll be off that crew, whether it's forever or just for a few weeks. Like, there's no way. How do you sit there and go like, yeah, you keep your job? That's a blatant misunderstanding of your job.
Yeah. I'm full tinfoil hat on this. Sorry, guys. I'm tinfoil hat. The NFL.
Goodell's in there.
Goodell has got a direct line to the refs saying, listen, boys, we can't have Patrick losing on national TV. Do what you need to do. I'm full tinfoil hat on this.
I'm just glad they did it in the Super Bowl last year, so the Eagles.
They did it in the fucking Super Bowl, and they're doing it again this year. They're spoon feeding these fucking bastard wins. I'm fucking sick of it.
And they let the overtime rule suit him too, the fucking bastards. Josh Allen would have 2 Super Bowls if it wasn't for overtime.
Yeah.
False. He's lost 2 overtime since they brought. No, he's 0-3 in overtime since they changed the rules.
I don't care about what happened since they changed the rules. That's different, Brock. I'm complaining about what happened before they changed the rules. All right. Don't bring facts and logic into this argument.
I think I'm watching the video that JA sent to the chat. I think they might have thought the ball got tipped at the line,
and it didn't.
It didn't. No,
but that doesn't overrule the roughing the passer.
Yeah, but that's what the replay's for. They check the replay and then they pick up the flag.
No, you can't
check replays.
Can't check replay on flags.
Oh, okay.
But I don't understand how the ball being tipped overrides the roughing the passer. Like they pick that flag up.
No, you still got fucking drilled.
Yeah, I don't understand it. By the way, it could have just been a bad moment, and coincidentally, it was the Chiefs, or George is right, and the Chiefs have the NFL payroll.
Chiefs get kissed on the dick. When do the Eagles play the Chiefs this year? They play this year? No, I think they do.
You would.
I hope not. I'm fucking sick of watching the Eagles lose to the Chiefs.
No, get fucked.
No, you're right. They only lose in big games to them.
Talking about Super Bowl, I did enjoy when the Chiefs won, and
you can't tell me in the Super Bowl that PI call was there. That was legit. You can't tell me that.
In fairness, on Super Bowl day, I was happy with whatever happened. I was swinging in the fucking breeze, so they could have the stadium could have blown up, and I would have thought it was outstanding. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't even know there was a football game on by the end of it. I had a red hot crack. I had a good nudge at it Super Bowl day.
Chiefs are fucking mutts, and I hope they get it right on the dick. Fuck them.
Hold up. Before we finish this off, we do have a viewer's question.
Oh, you got it.
Bill Boy sent it through.
Bill Boy,
if you can hear this, boys.
What's up, fellas? Absolutely loving the potty. Quick question straight off the Dome Tech. Would you rather sit through a full season of Chiefs games with Taylor Swift to your right, Jackson Mahomes to your left, and Brittany Mahomes screaming behind you? Or would you rather have Danny Dimes as your franchise QB for the next 2 years? Let us know what you think.
Oh. Speaking of a rock and a hard place, fuck me.
Bill, he's put me right square in it. I love it.
No, this is an easy answer. I would take the Chiefs game because you get to watch Patrick Mahomes every week, and there's this thing called headphones. You put on noise cancelling headphones and put on the radio call.
No. I'm tuning. I'm rizzing Taylor Swift. I'm giving a red hot riz. I'll give it every chance I got.
He wants that toothy BJ more than anything.
Absolutely. Nothing fucking better. Swift is probably worth about $1 billion right now. I'll take a toothy blowjob to get some more money.
No, I'd be watching the games. In worst case, I just put on noise cancelling headphones and listen to the radio call while I watched it. That's ridiculous. Danny Dimes is a fucking spastic.
Sorry, I can't do it. I'm rolling with Danny Dimes. I can't do it.
So you would get rid of Jalen Hurts. You know what? Danny Dimes would just come and do what Jalen Hurts is doing anyway. Like anyone could.
System quarterback.
Yeah, system QB. System. Mac Jones would be Jalen Hurts in Philly.
Yep. He probably would be.
Danny Dimes could be a chance because he is the fastest quarterback in the league.
What I do know for sure is that Danny Dimes in New York is terrible, but nowhere near as bad as Brittany Mahomes, who don't even get me started on that one, and Taylor Swift.
Jackson Mahomes is the worst of a lot of them. That guy's whack. Isn't he?
I'll deal
if he's a sex offender or not. He is a sex offender, isn't he?
If he was black, he would be.
Oh, so you got away with it, did he?
Yeah. I think he might get away with it, actually.
Yeah, he's in a bit of strife, I think.
Of course he's going to get away with it. Goodell would have rung up the prosecutor and said, don't worry about it. He's my boy.
I was like, hey, you know how Jackson's in a bit of strife? I'll put some money on the Chiefs the next 3 weeks. I'll make sure they win, and we'll call it even.
Make sure they win. I've got a direct line to the fucking.
It went the other way. Went lock him up. He's playing better without Jackson there.
Yeah.
I won't have to read games, and I'll get the heat off me a little bit. It could go either way.
As the great Taylor Swift once said, nobody wants bad blood, you know?
That's a big call. The great Taylor Swift is a big call.
But I knew he was trouble when he walked in, though.
Yeah, that's why I left that cafe when I saw Jackson Mahomes come in. So I knew he was trouble. Yeah.
All he was mean and pathetic.
Please stop. Please stop.
This is my favorite part of the show every week. All right, Billy, great question. Hey guys, if you want to send in questions for us to play, please send them in because that's good fun.
DMs in the comments. Send all the questions, please.
Georgie wants you to slide into his DM, so make sure you do. If you can lift 3 plates, you can go lift with him. They're the rules.
In the DMs.
Georgie, I'm telling you, Friday I'll lift 3 plates for you, mate. I guarantee it.
Georgie, I'm going to slide into your DMs. Just if you're going to slide into his DMs, guys, start with "Hey Muscles." He loves that. You'll have him on side instantly. Hey Muscles. He'll be like, "Oh,
hey Muscles." When are you gonna lace them up for the Rangers and actually show you
he's exclusive to like 60-year-old men. Like, hey Muscles.
Hey Muscles. That's you, mate. That's you.
Perfect. Love you.
Cheers,
boys. All right, boys.
Have a great night.
That's it, guys. Everyone next week.